If you've ever struggled with inflammation and wondered why it just won't go away, despite everything you try, this might be the most important thing you'll hear today. Because what if I told you there are just 8 simple ingredients that could help melt away years of chronic inflammation? Ingredients that are backed by real science, yet somehow you've barely heard about them. And here's the twist. Why are so many doctors silent about these anti-inflammatory powerhouses? Is it just oversight, or is there something deeper going on? Imagine discovering that some of the most powerful tools to protect your heart, sharpen your brain, and even reverse joint pain are hiding in your kitchen, not your pharmacy. That the same ingredients your body craves for healing are the ones no one is emphasizing. Why not? Why are these 8 ingredients so effective and so overlooked? If you're over 50, this could change everything about how you approach aging. But if you're younger, don't think you're off the hook, because chronic inflammation starts silently, sometimes decades before symptoms hit. Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll not only know what these 8 ingredients are, you'll know exactly how they work inside your body, how to use them starting today, and why they may be the missing link between your current health and the vibrant life you know you're still capable of living. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you never miss out on life-changing health insights like this. Let's talk about what chronic inflammation really is, because understanding it, really understanding it, is the first step to getting rid of it. Inflammation isn't always bad. In fact, it's your body's emergency response system. When you cut your finger or catch a virus, inflammation rushes in like a rescue crew, swelling, heating up, fighting off invaders, and beginning repairs. That's acute inflammation. But what we're talking about here is its dark twin, chronic inflammation, the kind that doesn't shut off, the kind that smolders beneath the surface day after day, damaging tissues, hijacking your immune system, and silently setting the stage for diseases like heart attacks, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and even cancer. Now here's what most people don't realize. Chronic inflammation doesn't just show up out of nowhere. It builds up slowly, fed by what we eat, what we breathe, how we sleep, and even what we believe. It's shaped by habits. And this is why food is such a powerful tool. Not because it's trendy to say food is medicine, but because biochemically, some ingredients either stoke inflammation or shut it down. And this brings us to our first anti-inflammatory ingredient. It's not rare, it's not expensive, and you might even have it in your fridge. But the real question is, are you using enough of it to make a difference? Or are you treating it like a garnish when it could be your body's strongest ally? This ingredient is ginger. But wait, don't tune out because you think you know ginger. You might have had it in tea or stir-fry, but let me show you what ginger is really doing inside your body. Scientists have studied a compound in ginger called gingerol. It works by suppressing pro-inflammatory cytokines. These are the chemical messengers your body uses to signal that it's under attack. In healthy amounts, they help, but when they're constantly triggered, like from sugar, stress, or toxins, they create a feedback loop of inflammation that never turns off. Ginger acts like a wise friend that steps in, calms everyone down, and says, let's figure out what's really going on. In studies, ginger has been shown to reduce pain, improve insulin sensitivity, and even protect neurons from inflammatory damage in the brain. And it works not just for short-term relief, but long-term repair. That's critical, because inflammation is not just a fire, it's a system dysfunction. Now imagine using ginger every single day, not just once a week, not just in supplements, but as a regular part of your meals, grated into soups, steeped into warm tea, blended into smoothies. This isn't about adding spice, it's about adding resilience. But ginger alone isn't enough, because inflammation isn't caused by one thing. So, to fully disarm it, we need a team. That brings us to our next ingredient. You've heard of it, but do you understand its full potential? Turmeric, specifically curcumin, the active compound inside it. Curcumin is like the Sherlock Holmes of anti-inflammatories. It finds trouble wherever it's hiding, in joints, in your brain, in your arteries, and helps solve the root of the problem. But here's what's often missed. Curcumin doesn't work well alone. It needs a partner. That partner? Black pepper. Piperine, found in black pepper, boosts the absorption of curcumin by over 2,000%. That's not a typo, 2,000%. Without it, your body might not absorb enough to make a difference. So if you've ever taken turmeric and thought, this isn't working, it's probably because you weren't combining it with the right cofactor. Just think about that. 2 humble spices, used correctly, can shift the inflammatory pathways in your body away from destruction and toward healing. But what happens when we look beyond spices? What about whole foods? Foods that carry not just one compound, but an entire symphony of healing agents? Enter the humble blueberry. Not exotic, not mysterious, but astonishing in its effects. Blueberries contain anthocyanins, deep blue pigments with profound antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. But there's more. They also support something even deeper, your gut bacteria. And that matters, because your gut isn't just a digestion factory, it's an immune command center. And when it's inflamed, your whole body is inflamed. Blueberries help balance gut flora, which directly reduces intestinal inflammation, a key driver of systemic inflammation. And here's a trick. Frozen blueberries, just as powerful as fresh. That means you can access these benefits year-round, no excuses. Now let's build on that. Because one food alone is good, but stacking them is where you get exponential healing. This is where avocados come in, not just a trendy toast topping. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats and compounds like oleic acid, which not only reduce inflammation, but also help you absorb fat-soluble antioxidants from other foods, like the curcumin in turmeric or the vitamin K in leafy greens. Without fat, those antioxidants may pass right through you unused. But the part that blows my mind, avocados reduce inflammation and help regulate blood sugar. And when blood sugar swings out of control, inflammation skyrockets. That's why avocados are a 2-for-1 solution. They stabilize hormones and calm inflammation. Are you starting to see how this works? It's not about one superfood. It's about synergy. These ingredients, when combined regularly, don't just make you feel better, they begin to reverse the damage. The damage caused by years of processed food, stress, poor sleep, and inactivity. Let's keep going, because we've only scratched the surface. If you're over 50 and your joints ache when you get out of bed, go upstairs, or just try to enjoy a walk. It's not your age, and it's not your fault. The real issue? Your body's running out of a natural substance that cushions your joints like a shock absorber. And most supplements out there, glucosamine, collagen, all of it, don't fix this. But now, researchers have discovered a breakthrough that can actually restore what your joints are missing. And people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s are seeing real relief. If you're feeling stiff, sore, or weaker lately, stop guessing. Check the link in the pinned comment now. Now that we've laid the groundwork with some of the most powerful anti-inflammatory allies, ginger, turmeric, blueberries, and avocados, let's pick up right where we left off. Because the next 4 ingredients in this story aren't just foods, they're biochemical tools your body uses to rebuild, repair, and reverse inflammation at the deepest levels. And by the end of this, you'll understand exactly how they work, why you need them, and why so few people are talking about them the way they should. Let's move into something green, but not just any green. This one might surprise you because it's not leafy, it's not a smoothie staple, and it's not trendy on social media, but it should be. We're talking about Brussels sprouts. Now, before you turn up your nose, because yes, a lot of people still carry childhood trauma from mushy Brussels sprouts. Let me give you a reason to give them another look. Brussels sprouts belong to the cruciferous family along with broccoli, cabbage, and kale. But here's what sets them apart. Brussels sprouts are one of the most concentrated sources of sulforaphane, a compound that helps your body activate its own internal antioxidant defense system. Think about that for a second. You're not just getting antioxidants from Brussels sprouts. You're flipping on the switch in your DNA that tells your body to make its own. That's next-level healing. Sulforaphane also helps detoxify environmental pollutants, reduce oxidative stress, and most importantly, it reduces something called NF-κB, a protein complex that acts like the master switch for inflammation in the body. When NF-κB is overactive, inflammation goes wild. And many chronic diseases, heart disease, cancer, neurodegeneration, start with that exact mechanism. But sulforaphane tells NF-κB to chill out, to scale back, to give your body space to recover. And that is rare. You don't find that in medications. You don't find it in magic pills, but you find it in food, if you know where to look. Next up, let's go back to something sweet, but not the kind of sweet that spikes your insulin and inflames your arteries. I'm talking about a food so powerful, it's been studied in relation to cholesterol, blood pressure, cognitive function, and even immune modulation. And yet, most people think of it as just a topping. Pomegranate. Inside this deep red fruit is a treasure chest of polyphenols, especially punicalagins. These are compounds that don't just act as antioxidants, they actually protect your blood vessels from damage. In a fascinating study, pomegranate juice reduced markers of oxidative stress in arteries by up to 44% and even helped reverse the thickening of arterial walls. And get this, pomegranate doesn't just help reduce the damage of inflammation. It helps regulate the enzymes that produce it. That's like walking into a chaotic control room and hitting the master override switch. Now, if you're wondering, do I have to drink the juice? Isn't it full of sugar? Great question. The answer is yes, juice can be high in natural sugars, so moderation matters. But if you eat the seeds, the arils, you get the fiber, the nutrients, and the blood sugar stabilizing effect all at once. One fruit, multiple defenses. Now let's talk fat again, because fat isn't the enemy here. In fact, one specific type of fat may be your biggest ally, and that's omega-3 fatty acids, specifically those found in wild-caught salmon. Why salmon? Because it's one of the richest sources of EPA and DHA, two forms of omega-3s that your body needs in order to build anti-inflammatory compounds known as resolvins and protectins. These compounds don't just reduce inflammation, they help resolve it. That means they tell your immune system, the job is done. You can stand down now. This is incredibly important. Most people think inflammation ends when the cause disappears. But that's not how it works. The inflammation process needs a signal to stop, and omega-3s provide that signal. Without them, inflammation can become chronic, lingering for months or even years. And here's something few people know. The balance of omega-6 to omega-3 in your body determines your inflammation set point. Most modern diets are 20.1 in favor of omega-6, primarily from vegetable oils. That's like flooding your system with lighter fluid and hoping for no sparks. But when you start adding omega-3 rich foods like salmon, sardines, mackerel, or even algae for plant-based eaters, you shift the balance. You lower that set point. You give your body space to heal. And now, we arrive at the 8th ingredient. It's not flashy. It's not exotic. It's not even a food in the traditional sense. But it might be the most powerful anti-inflammatory compound you're not getting enough of. Water. Yes, water. Plain, unprocessed, mineral-rich water. Because the truth is, inflammation thrives in a dehydrated body. When you're even mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, circulation slows, your kidneys have to work harder, and your detoxification processes grind down. Cellular function becomes sluggish. And in that environment, inflammation flares. But when you hydrate properly, especially with mineralized water, you restore fluid balance. You improve lymphatic flow, you flush inflammatory byproducts out of your tissues, and you support the integrity of your gut lining, one of the most critical barriers between your body and the chronic inflammation triggered by toxins, processed foods, and pathogens. If you're drinking coffee, tea, or juice but not enough water, your cells are still parched. And here's a tip. Add a pinch of unrefined sea salt or a squeeze of lemon to your water. Not for flavor, but for function. Those minerals help water move into your cells, where it's actually needed. So now you know. 8 ingredients, each one simple, each one backed by science, each one capable of transforming your health by reversing the slow burn of chronic inflammation. Ginger lowers inflammatory messengers. Turmeric, especially with black pepper, silences the NF-κB switch. Blueberries restore your gut and brain connection. Avocados stabilize hormones and enhance nutrient absorption. Brussels sprouts flip on your own antioxidant defense system. Pomegranates protect your arteries and regulate enzyme signaling. Salmon floods your body with the shutdown signals for inflammation. And water, life's simplest gift, flushes the fire from within. But let's not just admire them. Let's use them. Start now. Start today. Add these to your meals, your snacks, your life. These are the tools your body has been waiting for. Not because they're trendy, but because they're true. And before you go, if this helped you, if it opened your eyes or gave you something you can use, then you're going to want to check out the next video waiting for you on screen right now. It dives even deeper into the real causes of aging and what you can do about them. Click it. Don't miss it, because your next breakthrough might just be one more click away.